very good morning and welcome to the channel. I'm still on Oceania Marina and today we are in the port of Cove, which is in County Cork in Ireland. Believe it or not, where we are is the only dedicated cruise terminal in the Republic of Ireland. It's also the place, of course, where the last passengers boarded the Titanic before it headed off on its fateful journey. This is also the place where loads of immigrants headed across to America, and indeed the first one ever to go through Ellis Island. More of that later. It's also where there is the beautiful big cathedral and the deck of card houses. So let's go and explore a port I've been in many, many times, but I'm going to look at it through different eyes to give you some information and find out for myself as well things that I bet you I never knew. Let's go. Cove, County Cork. So, welcome ashore now into Cove itself. From 1849 to 1920, this place was called Queenstown. I know I referred to it somewhere as Queen's Ferry. I think I corrected that. And it was so called Queenstown because of a visit in 1949 from Queen Victoria. But then in 1920, after the Irish War of Independence, it was renamed what we have today, Cove. Straight opposite me is Spike Island, which is the base of the Irish Navy. And I won't just ask you to take my word for that. I'll swing the camera around and let you see it. Behind me, you can probably see the imposing tower of, I think it is the tallest building in Ireland, which is the cathedral here in Cove. We'll go and visit that. Population, around 14,000. Because this is the only proper cruise terminal in the Republic of Ireland, thousands upon thousands of visitors flood in here every year. Most of them, of course, head down to the city of Cork. I don't need to do that because not so very long ago, I left another ship and went to Cork, and that video is up somewhere if you're really interested to see that. But still, a lot of people come here and visit this beautiful little town. Yes, there is a connection to the Titanic, and we'll go and see that. And we'll visit some nice places that I know are here in Cove. So enough of that rambling, let's go. Okay, so straight across from me, that's Spike Island. And those buildings you can see are the headquarters of the Irish Navy. Behind me here, this is the White Star Line offices building here in Cove. And it was through those doors that the last 123 passengers to board the Titanic would have headed, got their tickets and headed down the pier onto the aging tender boats that took them out to the Titanic. It was the PS Ireland and the PS America. They then set sail. And of course, we know the story of the Titanic. Sadly, it sank. Of the 123 passengers that joined here at their very last port, 44 survived. The rest perished. Now, I'm facing it in Cove it's called Scott Square according to a sign on my right, and according to a sign on my left, it's called Roger Casement Square. Also here, one of these bars, and I'm not sure exactly which one it was, so I'm not going to be emphatic about that, but it was referred to as the Wake Bar. simply because it was here that millions, and I mean millions, who left Ireland to go to America, they left from here. And so they held parties in the pub that were known as wakes, simply because they knew way back then when they were going to America, it was a way different, almost in a different world, that they would never see them again. And so they had their farewell, their wake to them here. And probably they did the same for the people joining the Titanic. Now, still on maritime history. If you remember when I was in Liverpool, one of my last videos to go up, we saw the one of the propellers of the Cunard's Lusitania that was torpedoed. And what I didn't know when I was in Liverpool, and I just found out today in Cove, is that the bodies from the ship and any survivors that there were actually brought here to Cove from where the ship was sank. And here is a memorial to those people, to the memory of all who perished by the sinking of the Lusitania, May 7th, 1915, and in the cause of universal and lasting peace. I told you we would learn things that I didn't know as well. Let's continue our little walk through Cove. For all you sporting fans, there is Sonia O'Sullivan. It says that she's an international athlete and local hero, but you remember as a runner. And in actual fact, again, this is so funny. I mentioned in my Liverpool video that I only ever was in Liverpool once. I went over to do a show and then I flew home. Well, it was actually a sporting dinner, and the other guest speaker at that time was Sonia O'Sullivan. Now, what you can see here is the side of the White Star Line building down to a pier, and it was off that pier that they headed out on the two tenders to Titanic. Just further along the street here, I've come to the Cunard Line offices. That's them there. You can see them. Okay? The Cunard Line offices. And it was the pier out the back of this building, so that is in 1915 that many of the victims and the survivors of the Lusitania were brought ashore at the pier behind me there. So, tragedy is associated, of course, with Cove as far as Titanic and Lusitania is concerned. Cunard. Dominating the skyline over Cove is St. Coleman's Cathedral. Commenced to be built in, I think it was 1868 and finished in 1919. At 300 feet tall, it is the highest church in Ireland. I think I said the highest building earlier on, the highest church in Ireland. It's certainly an impressive building. So, you know what I've been saying in all my videos about the Protestant church is closed and the Catholic church is open? Well, this is a Catholic church. Let's see if it's open, and if it is, we'll go in. I don't know if you can make out the little wooden pier behind the White Star Line building there. I'll try and point to it. There. That's the pier I was referring to, where they headed out to the Titanic. I only did a very, very quick shot in there because they're saying Mass, it is Sunday, so of course it's open. But there's a sign up to saying no photography during the service, so excuse me if it's very, very brief. Okay, that's enough culture and history for any video. Let's go and find now the deck of card houses. You'll see why it's called that when we get there. Let's go. Well, there you go. The little terraced row of houses that's known as the deck of card houses. It's so called because if you think of, building a deck of cards, up into the little triangles, there you get them. The deck of card houses and the cathedral in the background. Lovely, yeah. You can probably pick up American tourists sitting beside me here, students. Now headed back towards the vicinity of the ship, and this is the Cove Heritage Centre in behind me, and inside that then there's access to the Titanic Museum of the Titanic exhibition. I have been there before and I'm not going to spend the money now for you because what it'll do, it will give you something to do when you come here to Cove to go in there. Also up those steps is the, up those steps that way, is the, I have a chesty cough, haven't I? It's okay, I took a test, negative. Is the Cove Museum, and that's worth a visit as well. And sometimes when the ship is here, there are people dressed in period costume, just to give you an idea of what it was like at that time. They may be in here, I don't know. So ahead of me now, as you can see, is the Queenstown story. The story of Irish immigration. Titanic, Oceania, convict ships, because indeed those that were sent to Australia left from here. Those that emigrated during the famine. It's all available to see in there. Pay your money and enjoy. Okay, as I said, lots of people left Ireland, left from Cove. Although it was then called Queensferry, but we'll come to that later on, and headed off for a brave new world, a brave new life over in America. One of the first ones to pass through the new immigration terminal, Ellis Island, in America, was this girl here. This is Annie Moore. This is her two brothers. And on the 1st of January, I think it was 1892, she was the very first person to go through Ellis Island, the first of many. And rightfully so, there is a statue here to her. anymore. Well, I don't think I can get you any closer to Spike Island apart from going across to it. There's the Irish Navy headquarters that's there. And indeed, there is a Navy frigate. I think that says F-54. If it's an F, is it a frigate? Maybe it's not an F-54. You can correct me if I'm wrong, but I know about the Navy. Now, this is obviously the place to come fishing. Something for everyone in Cove, you know. Now, with the marina over my shoulder here, Oceania Marina, this is as good a time as any to end this particular YouTube video on today's port of call, which is Cove in County Cork. Make sure you put it on your bucket list and come here. It's easy to get to. Well, you can come the way I came today. You can come by ship. You can come by plane because there is an airport in Cork. You can come by rail because right beside the Heritage Centre is the train station, and of course the road access. Come by car, come by motorhome, or what I would love to do, come by motorbike. Anyway, it's just a little snapshot. I hope you've enjoyed it, and if you have, well, you know what to do by now. You hit the thumbs up button, which means that you like it. Please consider subscribing to the channel. That'll be a big help to the YouTube algorithm. And if you want to know when there's a new video coming up, you just hit the bell and that'll send you a notification. Now, one of my favorite things anytime I have come here to Cove is the sail out, because we sail right along the front of the town. And later on tonight, when we're doing that, I'll come down to the open deck and let you see what that's like. It's absolutely beautiful, I think, anyway. You can tell me in the comments below. Okay, I need to go. I'm heading back to the ship, and I've had a wonderful time in Cove, and I hope you have too. So until the next one, look after yourselves.